The natural gas market in the US and Canada is extremely large from a trading perspective. So they're talking on the phone, but mainly they're talking via chat. They've then got to agree those trades by a certain part of the morning. And then that information, those trades need to be inputted into an ETRM system. Right now, people are physically taking their chat, they're rekeying it out into a spreadsheet or rekeying it out into a myriad of systems. If you key that in wrong, it can cost the firm a lot of money. So we've created a tool in which we can actually infer what we're talking about and actually take that unstructured data, get it in a very structured format and get it where it needs to go, i.e. ETRM system or another in-house system. And right now we're getting to the point where we're having trades go through sort of 99.38% inaccuracy. And actually traders have said, this is life-changing for me and I actually can trade more.
Good to see you, Rob.
Good to see you.
Do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
I'm Robert Kingham. I look after sales and partnerships at ipushpull.
And I'm Andrew Capel. I'm the head of product at ipushpull. So we recently spent 2 weeks in the US visiting some customers, meeting some new customers that are coming on board and at a conference in Boston. So we went to see we went to Oklahoma City to meet some of the producers. We went to the big trading hub in Houston and the LDC Gas Conference in Boston. But Boston is also kind of downstream with a lot of the consumption of the gas as well. What stood out about the 3 different places that we went to and how the gas trades across the United States?
The natural gas market in the US and Canada is extremely large, both from a trading perspective and logistically. What is great about this particular market is that you have a number of different players, like in the hundreds of different players from a trading perspective, and they're essentially classed in 3 different groups. So you have upstream, midstream, and downstream. So upstream are the guys that are actually taking gas and oil out of the ground, and then you've got midstream, the people actually storing that, moving that molecule around, and then downstream you've actually got the utilities that are moving that molecule actually to businesses and homes. It's great to speak to all of those people because essentially they all have the same issue that we resolve.
And what's the issue that we resolve?
In terms of the natural gas market, for people that don't know, that market is extremely time intensive from an administration point of view. And what I mean by that is that you have trading shops of all different sizes, large, small, medium, etc. They're essentially trading at a certain part of the day, i.e. early in the morning, with each other in an OTC style manner. So they're talking on the phone, but mainly they're talking via chat. They've then got to agree those trades by a certain part of the morning. And then that information, those trades need to be inputted into an ETRM system, but also that needs to go to their operational teams, their schedulers, who actually physically have to move that gas around North America. And that all has to be done in a very timely fashion.
Okay. And what do we do? What's the magic?
Well, it's definitely magic. What we do is essentially we will take the chats from the traders and we'll infer what they're talking about. If you and I are having a conversation and I say, I want to deliver this gas, we've been in the market, right? We know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we've created a tool in which we can actually infer what we're talking about and actually take that unstructured data, get it in a very structured format and get it where it needs to go, i.e. ETRM system or another in-house system.
Yeah.
Right now, people are physically taking their chat, they're rekeying it out into a spreadsheet or rekeying it out into a myriad of systems. They're probably duplicating that 2 or 3 times to actually get that done.
It's interesting. I think everyone that I've spoken to who doesn't necessarily know this market particularly well is always amazed by how the peer-to-peer nature of it, how people are trading directly with one another via chat or the phone rather than going through an intermediary such as a broker and exchange quite a lot of the time. Talk a little bit about how the market mechanics work, how people are trading, why that's necessarily different to other financial capital markets people might know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, if they've have their trading background, and maybe they're used to trading financials or futures and options on an exchange, they're very much used to clicking a button on a screen that trades, and then within their system they're going to have STP, and it's just going to appear somewhere downstream in their system. Now, for physical markets, generally a lot of that's built on relationships, again, from this structure of having at source, the logistics, the downstream players.
Yeah.
A lot of that's done through face-to-face meetings, handshakes, on the phone, via a chat. With that comes the fact that you're taking verbal information or textual information, and then you've got to get that in somewhere to actually then start organizing the process of delivering that physical molecule, or in any other market, that bushel of wheat or that barrel of oil. There's a number of steps to achieve that deal.
And you mentioned there's a certain time in the day, maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, that's a bit of a crunch time to getting those deals in so they can be scheduled, etc. What's the cost of missing that? What happens?
Well, for the actual natural gas market, if you don't deliver what you say you're going to deliver, there's actually penalties that you can fall foul of from FERC, which is the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, as well as penalties from the actual regulator itself. It's much bigger than that. Is actually your reputational risk. Right? In business, you need, if you agree to do something, you need to do it and you need to deliver. So there's a reputational risk. If you've misbooked a trade or you've not actually traded something correctly, if you need to deliver something, you then have to go into the market and potentially buy and move that along. It's going to cost you more to do that.
And you also mentioned when with that time pressure, humans make mistakes. There's error rate. What's the cost of errors, and how do we help reduce those errors?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of errors, like we're all human beings. We're not infallible. Mm-hmm. If you're booking 20, 30, 40 trades in a day, you're basically taking one piece of information and then rekeying it into another system. If you key that in wrong, again, from a positional point of view, you could be off, and that could subsequently making a downstream mistake, i.e. you're actually over trading or you're under trading. Again, it can cost the firm a lot of money, and there's a lot of people involved in trying to unwind those mistakes.
Okay. And how does ipushpull help with reducing those mistakes?
Yeah. So trade capture and booking, as I said, will take your chat data, create structure around it, and actually the individual users themselves are actually making corrections on that. Mm. So they're correcting the tool, it's learning from them. Yep. And right now we're getting to the point where we're having trades go through sort of 99.38% inaccuracy. Mm. So we're reducing the time that people spend inputting trades, and we're reducing the error rate on both of those fronts. Mm. If you're saving time, you've got more to do high value tasks, i.e. trade more. And actually traders have said, this is life-changing for me. Yeah. And I actually can trade more. And actually downstream of that, the less errors, less mistakes, the less effect on your P&L, you're not hitting your bonus at the end of the year.
Yeah, it can be quite serious. You mentioned quite a lot of spreadsheets involved and a lot of manual processes in getting to the trade and post-trade as well. Why hasn't the market modernized much? Why is it still kind of using quite a lot of manual processes? And what about the ipushpull platform can we help?
If you just take the US natural gas market, there's parts of that process that were mandated, I think, in 1998. I think you were probably 7 or 8 years old, 9 when that happened. And a lot of the actual portals for nominations and scheduling, and that's part of the process that's actually slightly downstream from the trading. People have to use maybe 200 online portals to nominate their gas. And many of those portals still look like they were built in 1998. Yeah. It's very wind form is extremely manual. I personally couldn't probably do that. I take my hats off to the guys that use all those different portals. But essentially, outside of that, from our point of view, we can reduce the time. Any unstructured information that you have, whether it's a spreadsheet or whether it's typed information, anything, you can get it all in one place and get it where it needs to be. And we've got quite a few customers live with it and traders live with it now. What's the reaction been? Yeah, what's nice is that we have customers in all three of those sort of defined groups. Yeah. So we have upstream, midstream, and downstream players. Again, they all come to the natural gas trading from a slightly different angle, but across the board, they all have the same issue of how do we get these trades in effectively, and the feedback's been amazing. So one of our larger customers, I think they've reduced their input time by about 85%. Some of the smaller players have essentially said, this is life-changing. Everyone we put this in front of essentially says, where has this been? Or why do I not have this? Yeah. So it's been extremely positive. And so with all that great reaction, all the good stuff that we've been doing, what's the next steps for us? What's on our roadmap? I think from a roadmap perspective, this same issue is reflective across any market from a physical perspective, and actually even from a paper perspective. So on a physical side of things, we live in a very globalized world. I think for many people, they don't realize where their energy come from or where their food comes from. I think this particular tool will be applicable to any of those markets, whether it be physical oil trading, wheat, cocoa, coffee, anything from a physical perspective. Actually, even on a paper perspective, for brokers moving or trading derivatives, again, getting their trades in a timely manner will this tooling will certainly suit them.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting trip, and it certainly sounds like we've got a lot of hard work to come, but we've got something we think we've got something really exciting to push out to people, so they can contact you and get a demo and maybe even a trial organised, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We look forward to visiting customers face to face a bit more and changing their lives.
Stuff. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, sir.